Because I'm willing to fight against drug dealers if they Muslim, if they Christian, if they atheist, if they Buddhist, if they shooting black men, guess what? I'm gonna say something about it. Because you know why? Just like you ain't gonna, like your boy said, it ain't gonna happen. Guess what? I'm not letting nobody sell you drugs without me saying that. I'm not gonna do it. Even though I don't know you, guess what? Just like that's your boy, guess what? I'm your boy. Even though I don't know you, I'm not letting nobody sell you crack. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you a black man like me. And it's worth something.
My whole life was trying to find something to follow. Had loyalty, every man tried to borrow. Felt pain and a lot of sorrow. Got betrayed, so packed, I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road like a sideshow. Need an antidote before I croak. Now I'm setting fire to rhythm man blues, call this guitar smoke. Rebel with no cause, trying to find direction. The world got me vexed. Picked up a bad liquor habit that's hereditary from oppression. Feel like my life was on fire, trying to find an exit. Now look, 10 G's plus a good wreck. Sometimes a follower is a soldier, trying to find a good shepherd. Plus when you in hell, how did you excel? Wisdom the breath of life, I believe in fairy tale. Listen well to what I tell. No calling can cause pain. Something that a rebel knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord? Got a tongue like a two-edged sword, with a style that they might just record. The only thing equal is the curse for the wicked and the righteous reward. Have mercy on the men that don't see it, separated from the tares. Now on my prayers and it's so be it. A rebel, take the world by word of mouth. UPK, we the rebels that you heard about. Yeah. And it ain't gonna stop till 100 virgins in the house and I'm handing verdicts out. Get rank, you ain't heard a clout without a shadow of a doubt. These devils hitting licks off us. Fuck the bank, I'm about to stone the pocket ticket office. Can't sweet talk us, cannot stop us. And plus I know the feds watch us. Telling people that they church full of witch doctors. Put us in prison, they stockpile us. Meanwhile, UPK turning rebels into rock wallers. And leave with mighty men, and now I understand things that never truly made sense. Like why I'm crying at this funeral for a criminal, knowing he ain't innocent, it's fucked up. But my boo shine, standing between two priests, about to blaze on their ass, call it tough love. Look out for niggas just club, and wouldn't touch a white bitch with OJ's black gloves. Father, forgive me for my error. I'm forever by your side. Clean and purge me of all my flaws. This the reason I'm alive. Thank God for this truth, cause for a long time was a rebel without a cause. Look, man, first time I make it, manager YAHANNA, man, hit 3807. Rebel without a cause. My little daughter with me. Open the door, he was dropping the truth on me and all that. Rebel without a cause. Man, you know, you do your time, we taking the mountains, training in hand-to-hand combat. Rebel without a cause, this the reason I'm alive. Up, thank nigga. God for this truth, cause for a long time was a rebel without a cause.
You cannot whoop us. We're already dead. We're already beaten down. We've been beaten down for 400 years. We already got the wounds inside and outside our bodies. How you gonna hurt us? You cannot threaten us. You cannot frighten us. We live in the most frightening places, under the most frightening conditions. We are immune to fear. We are immune to harm. You see what I'm saying? You have stepped into a cesspool. You're the only one gonna get infected.
Well, you understand? All right, so we are kick off the class now. Zin? 1 second. All right, so Shalom. My name is Officer Kayad, one out of I.S.U.P.K, Jamaica. I.S.U.P.K started 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I.S.U.P.K is run by Commanding General YAHANNA, the one man with the rank and the authority to lead Israel at this time. I say, Yahweh Ba'ashami Awashai Barakatam to my brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'ashami Awashai to my sisters. All right, so recently, you know what I mean? Well, before I go into that, this is our brotherhood class. We teach Israel to be brotherly. You know what I mean? We suffer from a thing named, you know what I mean, self-hate. You understand? especially here in Jamaica. Anywhere the children of Israel are. You understand? We murder each other here in Jamaica. See? And there are many factors that cause this, but one of the main factors, you know what I mean? Actually, the main factor that cause this is that we are not keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of our power, which is Yahweh. You know what I mean? Power means God authority. You know what I mean? Our power, which we have a covenant with as his chosen people. You understand? Which nobody tells us that we are the Most High's chosen people. You understand? So as a result, we are destroyed. You know what I mean? I may have a scripture for that too. See, let me just read the scripture first. This is the book of Hosea 4 and 6, and it says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. You know what I mean? There's nobody more destroyed than us, and there's nobody, you know what I mean, that have a lack of knowledge than us. And the main reason why we don't have this knowledge is because of slavery. Slavery cut we are from all knowledge of our past, our history, and all them things. So we call ourselves every other people under the sun, but not the right one. You understand? And this was an orchestrated plan to cut us off, because knowing our identity is where our power lie as a people. See? Let me continue reading. Because thou hast rejected knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of the scriptures, the book that you know what I mean? So many different so-called African, Pan-African people like to say is the white man book. When it is your foreparents who wrote this book. So you reject the knowledge. Because Muta Baruka tell us, boy, the white man book, you know what I mean? African liberation, and go back to Africa and one back sitting, you see? So you reject the knowledge in the Bible. The knowledge will tell you say you must live brotherly with your brother. See? You must not murder your brother. You reject the knowledge that tell you that, you know what I mean? You should not steal. You should love each other. You know what I mean? That you should reject the other nations, because by you loving the other nations, you know what I mean? It inadvertently, you know what I mean, result in you hating your own people. So you reject that knowledge, and I'm gonna tell you about Africa, Africa, Africa. Zine, and you're gonna love the African them. I'll show you who are the African them, Zine. Let me continue reading. So it said, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. So no, we are not no priest to the Most High. We were the priests and the prophets. You know what I mean? To the Most High. No, we think the Christian pastor is a priest. No, we think that Muta Baruch and some Rastafari, you know what I mean, people are priests. When we as a nation supposed to be, well, specifically the tribe of Levi, which are our Asian brothers, the 80 people, them are the tribe of Levi, but they were the priests. We were the people of the Most High. See? Let me continue reading. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. So the Most High give a law to keep. The Creator will create the earth, wanted the earth to be governed in a particular way. And him entrust that with us, with our people. But we rejected the law. We start follow the other people them. So him say, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God or thy power, Zin, I will also forget thy children. You understand? So our children now, them grow up wayward, killing each other, going off into crime, you know what I mean, going off into all sorts of things. Because the Most High has rejected our children, because we've rejected his laws. And rejected his laws mean we did not teach our children his laws. You understand? So them don't know, say, so it's like a, you know what I mean? It's a domino effect, you know. You reject the Most High laws, mean that your children don't learn it. So them don't know that, you know what I mean? Them love them brother as themselves. I mean, society teach them, say them brother are criminal and them will come, you know what I mean? We're nothing but some slaves or some savages in Africa. Automatically them grow to hate themselves and them brother. So it's a domino effect. You reject the Most High laws, your children come out worse than you, because now the Most High reject them, because you don't teach them nothing where they make the Most High want. You know what I mean? Work with them. Where you teach them? Where you hand down to them? Nothing. You teach them to reject the Bible. And you teach them that it is the white man book. So automatically you're giving your records, your history to the man who enslaved you. And now he's now presenting himself like he's the most high people. And you believe it? Are you going to a Christian church and worship that white Jesus? When the Bible says Jesus black. You understand? Yeah, man. So, you know what I mean? We have to read that part, you know. So we destroyed because of the lack of the knowledge of the scripture, knowledge of who we are as a people. You understand? And that is why the ISUPK and a command in general, you know. We go so hard. See? We go so hard in trying to give you back that knowledge. You understand as to who you are. You are the children of Israel. We here in Jamaica. You understand? We are from the tribe of Benjamin or Banyamian in the Hebrew. See? No laws of Ma'at can help you because that is the law of the Egyptians who had us in slavery. You know what I mean? All right, so we're going to jump straight into it now. So watch out now. Recently, Selassie grandson, you know what I mean, visited Jamaica. Zine, and you know what I mean, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. We're not going to get too deep in it still, right? So we're just going to show you some other things both surrounding that. See, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church wanted to make it perfectly clear to the Rastafari community that, look, Selassie don't belong to you. Selassie belongs to us. See, because Selassie was a Christian in our Ethiopian Orthodox Church, because we know the Ethiopian Orthodox Church is the Ethiopian version of the Catholic Church. See, Selassie attended that church. He was a staunch Christian. You understand? If you want the breakdown on that, you can just go and watch the video on this page. I break it down. See, Selassie was a strict Christian. However, we, because of our ignorance here in Jamaica, you know what I mean, we made Selassie to be a God. Or, you know what I mean, some might say, well, Selassie are no God, him are the Christ. The Bible don't agree with that. See? And we have to break that down. You understand? And the Rastafari movement grew after that sentiment that Selassie is either God or is Christ or, you know what I mean, some king that we should look towards for our salvation. You know what I mean? But we have to show you who Selassie really is. You know what I mean? Yo, no, we don't have no time for foolishness, you know. We cut straight to the point. See? Straight to the point, and we give you the proof of what we are talking about. See? And the Rastafari community, they make Selassie out to be the king that we should seek. You know what I mean? And so now, them build all kind of songs about going back to Africa and going to Ethiopia. You know what I mean? Selassie gave some land in Sashamani to, you know what I mean? Not the Rastafarian them, you know, Zine, but to every descendant of slavery, Zine, so that they can come back and build up Africa, build up Ethiopia, so to speak. You understand? Many Jamaican Rastafarians took up that offer, you know what I mean, and now are suffering in Sashamani. And we have to read that now. So this is an article. Let me bring it up on the screen. We're not able to bring it up on the screen on TikTok, but you know what I mean, if you want to see the article, just go over to YouTube or Facebook, because we are live on YouTube and Facebook as well. See, this is a Gleaner article. You understand? And it says Ethiopian dream, a nightmare for some Jamaican immigrants. These are the same immigrants that took up the call from Rastafari, we sing about Ethiopia, this, Ethiopia, that. You know what I mean? And they actually went to Ethiopia. Bear in mind, the people who sing about Ethiopia never do go to Ethiopia to live. But people who really seek the Most High and get tripped up in this Rastafari thing, because of them sincerity, them believe it and go to Ethiopia. But them under some, you know what I mean? Them face some serious judgment. You understand? Yeah, man, we're going to break it down. All right. So, this is an Ethiopian dream, now a nightmare. Zine, let me read. A number of Jamaicans who have immigrated to Ethiopia decades ago, heralding what they call a return to the motherland continent, are living a nightmare in the East African country, which many Rastafarians still wish one day to call home. You understand? Let me continue reading. The immigrants, some of whom are descendants of millions who were forcibly removed from the African continent in the centuries-long slave trade, believe that landing in Ethiopia would have not only restored their stolen identity, listen to this, but would have seen them being welcomed with open arms. But it was quite the contrary. You understand? They weren't received with open arms over there in Ethiopia. And more, you pay attention to the stolen identity, because that is what we suffer from over here, a stolen identity. We do not have our identity over here. If you ask 10 different black men which nation him belong to, he will give you 10, all of them will give you 10 different answers. Let me continue reading. See? However, the country's strict citizens requirement make it almost impossible for immigrants to become Ethiopian citizens, and dual citizenship is not allowed. All right, so in order for them to get Ethiopian citizen, they would have to relinquish them Jamaican citizenship, because dual citizenship is not allowed. But guess what? By doing that, them still not get Ethiopian citizenship. So they are like squatters over there in Ethiopia in the same land that Selassie so-called give them. Let me continue reading. See? Immigrants who fail to marry an Ethiopian female retain the citizenship of their country of origin. So, you know what I mean? You would have to keep your own citizenship, so you are not an Ethiopian citizen. So even if you go over there, you're still not an Ethiopian citizen, unless, you know what I mean, you married an Ethiopian female, which, I'll show you something. The Ethiopian females don't consider you appealing. Let me just make you know that. Not that she's better than you, but she thinks she's better than you. Because we know that the African continent consider you a cutters or slaves. Them look down upon you. So that is something that is not readily accessible. You getting an Ethiopian woman is not like this, like the Rastafari community make you look like the Nubian goddess just there wait for you. No such thing. You understand? Ethiopians look down upon you. Let me continue reading. See? And children born in such unions are not considered Ethiopian. So if you even get an Ethiopian woman, that child is still not Ethiopian. Why? Discrimination, man. Ethiopians don't consider you their people. You understand? Let me continue reading. The nightmare is especially painful for Rastafarians. Remember, it's the same Rastafarian community that convinced these people to go over there. You know what I mean? It's the same Rastafari community that end up go over there. But the nightmare is especially painful for them. Let me continue reading. Who believe that Ethiopia is the Godhead and its former ruler, Emperor Haile Selassie, is a god because Marcus Garvey prophecy, look to Africa where a black king shall be crowned. He shall be the Redeemer. See, and we are going to explain the prophecy there, the so-called prophecy there, which is not a prophecy because Marcus Garvey is not a prophet. See, and we are going to show you how the Rastafari community misstate that fit talking about Selassie. And we are going to show you that Marcus Garvey did not even respect Selassie. Marcus Garvey called him weak. Marcus Garvey never liked him. See, we are going to show you that. See, all right. Was swiftly followed by the ascension of Haile Selassie as Emperor of Ethiopia. So now, because Marcus Garvey say a thing, say, boy, look to the east for the crowning of a black king. Bear in mind, Marcus Garvey is a Christian, just like Selassie. Then, so him read the Bible and read about Christ. And Marcus Garvey understood that Yahawashi Mashiach, which them call Jesus Christ, is a black man. So him say, look to the east for the crowning of a black king. But because our people, you know what I mean, lack of knowledge like I read before, them when Selassie get coronated, them say, boy, it must be talking about Selassie. Not taking into consideration that you have so many more other kings over there in Africa So why couldn't it be any one of them? You understand? Which it wasn't any of them. It was talking about our king, Yahawashi Mashiach. You understand? Let me continue reading. So it said, Sharon A. Webster told the Sunday Gleaner that many Jamaican Rastafarians have made significant development on the land south of Addis Ababa, Sashamani. Zin? So Sashamani or Shashamani has been developed by the Jamaican Rasta them and many from the Caribbean, you know what I mean, who believe that the Rastafari doctrine went over there. They build schools, restaurants, hotels, you understand? And all them things, they put them hard work in and them still cannot get citizenship. You understand? You know that I got turn out already. You can't prove your citizenship, you're going to lose all of your investment. Let me continue reading. The promise of reparation is not tangible and is a great disappointment for many. It was a struggle to even find work. So because of them lack of citizenship, they can't even find work. You understand? Not even work them can find. See? Let me continue reading. It was a struggle to even find work. They told me, yet there are so many who have made a difference in Sashamani. Right, because them go over there and them build up Sashamani, this bushland that Selassie give them. You know what I mean? Them, if water is in Sashamani, it is because of their effort. You know what I mean? If electricity is in Sashamani, it's because of their effort. You know what I mean? They made Sashamani into this, you know what I mean? This community. Zane, but them still can't get work and them still can't get citizenship. Let me continue reading. Yet there are so many who have made the difference in Sashamani. Those Jamaicans and West Indians in general who have gone there went on the premise that it was room to occupy and live as Africans, said A. Webster, a former local parliamentarian, who said issues in the African country, Slovakia, were first raised with her in 2004, Slovakia, and again in 2006. So from 2004 to 2006, these Rastafarians who are situated in Sashamani land, you know what I mean, have been making complaints about what they are facing. Then, at the time, A. Webster said the immigrants told of their struggles to build their own schools and hotels to foster tourism and entertainment. Sashamani is described as the black version of Amish country, where everything is natural and the country, and the community devoid of outside influence. But why is the community devoid of outside influence? Anybody know what an Amish society is? The Amish is some over Christianized white people who live, you know what I mean, off the grid in a community by themselves and they don't interact with outside community. But you know why the Rastafarians them have to live like that? Is because the Ethiopians them don't really want to deal with them. You understand? Let me continue reading. The occupation of the settlers was made possible by the 1948 land grant by Selassie that accommodated Caribbean people of African descent who wanted to settle there. Shashamani land was offered for free, and there it's all or most things Jamaican, right? All right. So this say land taken away following the fall of Selassie and subsequent political instability. Some of the land were taken from the settlers. When we visited Sashamani in 2004, we did it as a Caribbean delegation from the African, Caribbean, and Pacific ACP states, headed by Louis Straker, then Deputy Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who has Jamaican roots, A. Webster recalled. They officially welcome us at the 12 Tribe Tabernacle with drumming and festivities. We have to do a round of table, which is a ritual. They'll continue reading. A. Webster said she raised the issue during her tenure as co-president of the Joint Parliamentary Assembly of the EU ACP Council. Water catchment system and housing designs were signature of the resettlers' effort. Ethiopia Honorable Council to Jamaica. All right. See? All right. We're going to jump to another article. You understand? We're going to jump to another article and show you more concerns. You understand? More concerns. So that article basically is a Gleaner article where you can check out. That article was written last year. Yeah, last year, 2021. See? But the issue was from 2004, 2006. You understand? All right. All right. One second. All right. Mm-hmm. Slovakia. All right. So here's another, you know what I mean? This is WashingtonInformer.com. See? All right. So it says whether those reforms would provide full Ethiopian citizenship for members of the Rastafari community living in the town of Shashamane has yet to be seen. See? Throughout the 1960s and 1990s, legions of Rastafaris, you know what I mean, from around the world. Let me make sure this step on the screen. Yeah, man. So it's a legion of Rastas from around the world relocated to the 500-acre plot of land in Shashamane that Emperor Selassie designated for people of African descent. For them, that political move fulfill a biblical prophecy of Rasta return to the motherland, what they call Zion. Over the years, as Rasta struggle to integrate into the Ethiopian society, the population of Shashamane has dwindled with the movement of inhabitants to Addis Ababa or other countries. Right? The reason why this stuff go on, you know, the reason why them have to move and the population get dwindled because they are being, you know what I mean, deprived of certain resources that they need in Shashamane. You know what I mean? And certain things that them need, them have to find it in Addis Ababa or just leave the country completely. You understand? Let me continue reading. Right? While residents permit identify Rasta as foreign nationals, many repatriates said that designation isn't sufficient. As of the press time, spur of violence haven't touched the Rastafari community in Shashamane. You know what I mean? Some say otherwise. See, such event, however, as seen in a recent communique sent to Rastas living in the US, have sparked concern about the hurdles in realizing a pan-African vision championed by Emperor Selassie. Hundreds of Ethiopians have lost everything in Shashamane. Business, shops, school, markets, house, burned down. You know what I mean? People are sheltered in churches by the hundreds, said a portion of reports compiled by Dr. Gila and Wunzua Queen Mother Moses. See? So, them thing you go on, and we know say, all right, watch out. Right now, Ethiopia is currently in a civil war between the Tigray region and the government. You understand? But, you know what I mean? And as I say, we not take pleasure in beating down on the Rastafari religion. No, not the religion, you know, community, you know. But why are you telling people to go to Ethiopia? You understand? And repatriate to Ethiopia, and you can, you know what I mean, ensure them safety and them well-being in Ethiopia. Currently, you have a civil war in Ethiopia right now. What is the Rastafari community? going to do when it comes to protecting those members over there in Ethiopia? They are sitting ducks. You understand? Let me continue reading. All shops around, bus station destroyed except one shop just opened by a sister. The report continues. Shashamane looks like it's the only place in Ethiopia where the town was destroyed. So, you understand? Army arrived yesterday by parachute and is stationed close to us around NOC station as it, you know what I mean? All right, let me jump to another article. You know what I mean? We just show you say life is not peaches and cream like the Rastafari community want you to think in Ethiopia. You know what I mean? They will send you to Ethiopia, but you know what I mean? Send you to Ethiopia and then what? See? All right, Ethiopia dwindling Rastafari community. So, you know what I mean? This article now I tell you say, yo, the community is basically dwindling in Ethiopia, right? And you have to ask yourself the question, why are people leaving Shashamane? Why are the Rastafarians leaving from Shashamane? You have to ask yourself the question then, if life was so good after investing so much, building hotels, building schools, you know what I mean, restaurants, homes in Shashamane, why would you leave all of that? See? So this article says Ethiopian dwindling Rastafari community. Rastafarians from around the world have been settling in Ethiopia for the last 50 years. After being given land by Emperor Haile Selassie, today life in the promised land is far from the paradise they had imagined. Then a purple thin covers the event sky over Shashamane, home to Ethiopia's remaining Rastafarians. Inside the house of the Ethiopian World Federation, EWF, a few Rastafarians are watching a documentary about how science is threatening people of color. All right, let me scroll down. Then, initially, the EWF was a black organization, not a Rastafarian one, said Raspal, the only employee of the place. The federation was launched in the US in the 1930s to support Ethiopia during the Italian invasion and to promote black unity. After World War II, Ethiopia's Emperor Haile Selassie granted 200 hectares of land to descendants of slaves who wished to find a home on the continent. The EWF was to administer and attribute the land in Shashamane. We can only gain political power if we become self-sufficient and rule ourselves. And the only way we people of color can do that is to return home to Africa, Raspal explained, right? Let me continue reading. Whereas the Rastafarians were not the only ones being targeted by Selassie's land donation, right? Because Selassie never just give the land to just the Rastafari community. It was, you know what I mean, all of the descendants of the slaves over here. You understand? Because of the support that they give, which he did not take up the offer. You know, I will show you some things in a road boy. See? They offer to support Selassie. You know what I mean? He never take up the offer, but when he visit Jamaica now, him learn, say, boy, here we are going. You know, say support it strong over here in the West, among the black community. So let me give them some land. See? So it wasn't just Rastafarians. All right? So Haile Selassie was widely viewed by Rasta as the Messiah who would only would one day bring them back to Africa. This belief added a strong religious component to the repatriation movement. It was encouraged by Selassie himself, who visited Jamaica in 1966 and urged the Rastafarian community to move to Shashamane. Then, the land grant was originally corporate land, but the Rastafari spiritualized it, Raspal said in a British accent. He arrived in Ethiopia from the UK 20 years ago. Religiously speaking, we were enslaved by the Roman Catholic Church. You understand? We learned that for most world religion, you can find their foundation inside Africa. All right, let me continue reading. All right, so this is a clash of the Rastafari generation, right? A fixed influx of Rastafarians into Shashamane took place during the late 60s and the mid 70s. A second wave arrived from Jamaica in the early 1990s after the Ethiopian Civil War. Nowadays, a discrepancy persists between the ones who were here from the beginning and other Slakia and those who made the journey in recent decades. The older generation prefer not to talk about their past, which they describe as traumatic, Slakia, as a traumatic experience. So the older, and the reason why you don't hear much about Wagwan is because the Rastafari community, you know what I mean, because of the pride that they have, meaning them no want to shame upon themselves. See, they don't talk about what they face in Ethiopia. You understand? But the older generation of the Rastafarians, them who went over there to Sashamani, them describe it as a traumatic experience. But for those who settled over 50 years ago, the newcomers had it easy here and don't have the legitimacy, legitimacy to speak in the name of the community. All right. Remember, the later community who arrive after them say, yo, conditions terrible, You know what I mean? But the older generation, I tell you, say, boy, them have it easy. You see? All right, let me just answer the question. This person say, you seem to be troubled by Rasta business. No, man. No, man. We're not troubled by Rasta business. All right, we know that the people that were brought over here in slavery, they are the children of Israel. See, them can't be no Rasta. Rasta is, you know what I mean, no different from Christianity who have led our people astray, you know what I mean, and caused many of the issues that we have here in Jamaica. You understand? First, you know what I mean, the Rastafari movement caused us to love the Africans them. You know what I mean? And the Africans them don't love we. Which may I show you right here, so through these articles, how the Ethiopians them basically are deprived the Rasta them over Shashamani. Then, we just bring out the facts, Then another thing, the Rastafari community turned an entire generation and generation and generation after that of descendants of slaves here in Jamaica into weed heads, into drug addicts. You understand? As a youth left high school, so and during high school, you know what I mean, that youth is compelled to start smoking marijuana. See, that is because of the Rastafari movement. The Rastafari movement have people calling this Ethiopian heathen God when we have a covenant as a people with the Most High. You understand? And we are not allowed to call any man, anything God except the Most High. So it's not that we have a problem with Rasta business, Rasta business are implode by itself, People are being this, you know what I mean, are seeing Rasta discredit itself, See? But what we are doing now, we are teach our people now, say, look, you can't partake in a Rastafariism. And it's not just Rastafariism we come out against. We come out against Christianity more, because Christianity is even more dangerous than Rastafariism, which Rastafariism is just a smaller version of Christianity. See? But we still have to teach the people them, say, look, it is very dangerous for your well-being and your people to be a part of these religions. You understand? You're coming up against the Most High by being a part of them. And this is the condition that you put yourself in. One of such condition is the people who follow Rastafariism and end up over Ethiopia, Sashamani, now struggling. And you know, hear the Rastafari community attack on them behalf. You understand? So we now have a problem with Rasta business, Then Rasta business a mash up them people. You understand? How the bomb slack your mic. All right, so this person I say I am a Rasta and me love Batty. Yeah, that Rasta gone to. Anyway, yo, I move on. Zin. All right, so it's a refugee and migration to Africa project. All right, is that it? All right, so it's an internal squabbling, economic struggles, and the difficulties of integrating with the local Ethiopian community have led many Rastafarians to leave town. Right, so enough Rasta end up have to leave You know what I mean? Because of conflict within the Rastafari community over there. You understand? Let me continue reading. Either to find work in the capital Addis Ababa or to move to another country. Because enough of them end up after just leave Ethiopia all to begin with. You understand? Because Ethiopia is not conducive to them, you know what I mean, them up, you know what I mean, them upkeep. Let me continue reading. Only about 200 still live in Sashamani. So, you know what I mean, up until this time, only 200 Rasta live in Sashamani. In the late 90s, in the late 90s, they numbered approximately 2,000. So before this, 2,000 people, Rasta in a Sashamani. Now you have like 200. Why? If conditions were so great in Sashamani, Zane, why are people leaving? All right. You know understand what me I say, no, brother. You and I, the person name, Zane, just understand what me I say. Zane, is not that Rastafari, then you can say the same thing that Christian business. Me have a problem with it too. Because if you ever watch other classes, you will see we have born out Christianity. Then you will find I.S.U.P.K in general a born out Muslim, any religion that the children of Israel, you know what I mean, partake in, we burn it out because we are not allowed to be a part of any religion. We don't have a religious contract with the Most High. We have a covenant with the Most High that we will keep his laws and rule this earth as a people. So it's not that we obviously have a problem with Rastafari business. Rastafari business is detrimental to our people. So we just have, you know what I mean? We just have to show what Rastafari is. All right, we're not reading no more of the article here. See, we just have to show you, say, look, everything is not peaches and cream in Sashamani. See, everything is not peaches and cream in Sashamani. See? All right. So we're going to jump to some more article. And the person when name you and I, Zane, just stick around. We have some more things to bring out. You know what I mean? That are just for sure you say. You know what I mean? The people them who answer the call of our reggae Rasta artists them that they should repatriate to Africa. They are living in hell over there in Sashamani. You know what I mean? Them believe them so-called prophets. See? Them believe them so-called Rasta prophets. You know what I mean? And them actually take up the offer and went to Ethiopia. Bear in mind, you know, these same artists never go to Ethiopia to live, you know. Them live here, so in Jamaica. See? But the sincere people them who really believe that Selassie are God, them actually take up the offer, went over there, and them a face hell. All right. 1K official say big up. All right. Big up, brother. Big up. All right. You know what I'm going to do? I'll block the fish, you know. You see? We don't want to chichi man pan with chat. See? Yeah, man. We don't care if you're a Rasta, if you're a Rasta fish, or you're a secular fish. We don't want no fish pan with live. See? Yeah, man. All right. So watch this. Look on the article here now. We have to show you now, say, not only is Rastafari, Ethiopia is not the land for our people, but Ethiopia have a hand to play in the enslavement of our people. So this article says Ethiopians, emperors, and slavery. Zane, listen. Slavery in the Ethiopian region is of great antiquity. Historical inscription going as far back as 1495 point to the subjugation of people from the land of Punt into slavery, right? There are also sources indicating the export of slaves from the Aksumite kingdom, a territory that includes part of the modern day Eritrea and Ethiopia. See? So remember we bring out before. You understand? Remember we bring out before, say, You know what I mean? Ethiopia had a hand to do in our slavery. You know what I mean? And they also were a big slave trading people. Zane, we are bringing it out now. Zane, slavery continued to be a national custom in Ethiopia well into the early 20th century. So much so that even Ethiopian rulers, including those who did not approve of the institution, such as Emperor Menelik II and Haile Selassie, and Emperor Slakia, 1916 to 1930, and Emperor of Ethiopia, 1930-1974, are said to have owned slaves by the thousands. Zane? All right, so this brother say, every live you do, Rasta is your main topic. Oh, so I know the first live you watch it with. All right, but we just start go live on TikTok. Zane? But we are do live for years, more than, you know what I mean? We have keep classes on YouTube and Facebook. You know what I mean? For years now, brother. See, just go back and check them class there and see if we burn out, who we burn out the most. Of course, we don't care about Rastafari or Christianity. You know what I mean? Because these are two religions that, you know what I mean, hold on with people. See? But we burn out Christianity more. You understand? It's just that when we go so now book and do a video or do a live, it is always the Rastafari and them who quick for run come say, you know what I mean? And lick out against what we are say when we are bring up the facts. So since Uno is so vocal against what we are say, we have to bring up the facts from time to time. You know what I mean? Maybe if you keep silent, we forget about But you know what I want to prove say, you know what I mean? The stronghold of Rastafariism is very strong here in Jamaica. So we see that based on a response, we see that, and then we have to come hard against Rastafariism because we now stop beat it out of our people. We have beat out this madness where we have to worship some Ethiopian, you know what I mean, who did not even consider our people, Zane, and who had our people and selling our people in slavery. We have to get that out of Right, so real jazz vibes say, why should I praise Africa when they sold us in slavery? You know what I mean? And that brother is completely correct. You understand? You see, you now get the point. You know what I mean? It's hard to start to, all right. Me not necessarily attack you, brother, but we realize it because for the most part, Rastafarians, them promote the weed smoking, then it's hard to reason with them. Then, because most of the time you are reason with somebody with hype and weed. So if you make a point, them not gonna get it. Them are gonna just reiterate what them a say like a broken record. You know what I mean? And miss them make what you just say fly over them head. Brother, we just explain to you say it's not just Rasta Christianity too. Then, but you repeat as if you never hear. So just put on the weed, brother. If you smoke weed, put on the weed, brother. See? All right, let me continue reading. Slavery continued to be a national custom in Ethiopia well into the early 20th century. All right, so this say, Haile Selassie, even though he did not condone slavery, he owned slave. You understand? The Rastafari community pride themselves in the fact that Haile Selassie was, you know what I mean, was the one that put an end to the slave trade. See? But them need to take into consideration that before him do that, Ethiopia was a strong slave colony. You understand? Ethiopia was a strong slave colony. So you can't really say, it's like, remember say Britain put an end to the slave trade too, So what you are going to say? So now we worship Queen Elizabeth as God? Since Britain put an end to the slave trade, we must now worship Queen Elizabeth as God. That is basically what you are saying by worshiping Selassie and praising Selassie because he put an end to a slave trade where theme people used to, you know what I mean, partake in. You understand? Zin, real jazz vibes. Big up, big up. Zin. Yeah, man. All right. All right. So some even personally took part in the slave raids. And that is where our people come involved now. We were raided because enough people believe that the white man invaded Africa. The white man did not invade Africa. We were raided by other African tribes, see, and sold to the white man. You understand? And these raids were called slave raids. You know what I mean? Let me continue reading. The most notable case being that of I.S.U.P.K, see, and his 1912 slave raid expedition. You understand? So, you know what I mean? Up until 1912, the Ethiopians were still raiding and capturing people to be slaves. See, one of the first written law to regulate slavery in the Ethiopian region was the Feather Nagast, the law of the king, a traditional law for Ethiopian Christians translated from 13th century Arabic writing, a Coptic Egyptian writer. See? And another thing we would need to understand, Ethiopians are Christians. See? Staunch Christians. And the Christian doctrine back then was that it was okay to enslave our people. You know what I mean? The Ethiopian Orthodox Church is just the Ethiopian version of the Catholic Church. And we know that it is the Catholic Church who sanctioned our slavery. You understand? Well, Britain eventually break off from, you know what I mean, the Catholic Church. See? And them call themselves the Anglican Church. So the Anglican Church would be another version of the Catholic Church. See? See? Yeah, man. So let me continue reading. The state of liberty is in accord with the law of reason, for all men share liberty on the basis of natural law, but war and the strength of horses being some to the service of others, because the law of war and of victory make the vanquished slave of the victors. That is, you know what I mean, the premise of this law that was written. You understand? So the vanquished become the slave of the victor. You know what I mean? That is the philosophies of the Ethiopians. You understand? Let me continue reading. It also provided for the enslavement of non-believers and the children of slaves. You understand? A person did not have to have fought for the losing side of a war to be born to certain class of people to end up a slave, as there was additional basis for enslavement. All right, let me jump to another article. See? Jump to another article. You know what I mean? Because we have quite a few articles. Remember, if you tap up the screen, you know what I mean? Share it around. See? Yeah, man, Rasta no different from Christianity, man. The God of Rastafariism, he was a staunch and strict Christian. You understand? Yeah, man, he was a very, very strict Christian. See? All right, all right. All right. 1 second. All right. So we know that our people were not just ship crossed in the transatlantic slave trade. Many of us were sold to the Arabs because the Africans, the Arabs, the oppressor, the white man, is in the Jewish man, you know what I mean, had an hand to play in our slavery. So we were also slaves to the Arabs as well. You know what I mean? We brought out time and time again, you know what I mean, how the Arabs used to, you know what I mean, enslave Jews, black Jews in Africa. You understand? We are the Jews. We are not the native Africans. We are the Jews. You know what I mean? And we bring out that the Arabs were black, the Africans were black, the Jews were black. Our dark complexion. You understand? So we make that clear so that people don't say, boy, because we have dark skin, we are automatically African. Because even the Arabs, them have dark skin. And you know, I'm going to say the Arabs, them, you know what I mean, are African. We know that the Arabs are the sons of Ishmael, Middle Eastern. You understand? See? But nowadays, Arabs, they are not the real Arabs. Same like how nowadays, Egyptians are not the real Egyptians. These are just, you know what I mean, the children of Greek invasion. You understand? That's all they are. White people, the seed of the white man, who eventually, you know what I mean, took over those lands. You understand? Similarly, there is a white man calling himself the Jew today. I'm calling himself Jewish, but he's not the real Jew. You understand? So what we are saying is nowhere near far-fetched, you know. It's right in front of your eyes. But our people just like to give the white man credit for everything that is great. And, you know what I mean, the Rastafari community, you know what I mean, for the most part would want to give, you know what I mean, the Bible over to the oppressor. You know what I mean? No, brother, Arabs are not from Africa. All right, let me show you something. Africans, you see the so-called Hamites, they are not originally from Africa neither, but they are the first inhabitants of that land. So that land belongs to them. See? That's way you don't know. You understand? Let me read this still. So the question is it true, you know what I mean, that Somalis and Ethiopians weren't enslaved? You understand? So Ethiopia, we know that Ethiopians, yo, they never go in on slavery. But watch this now. See, Somalis were never enslaved. The transatlantic slave trade was primarily concentrated in West Africa and to lesser extent Central and Southwest Africa. It never reached the Horn of Africa, that are the transatlantic slave trade. So that have to do with from Africa to the West Indies and America. That is the transatlantic slave trade. See? Let me continue reading. There were other slave trades in East Africa, most notable the Arab slave trade. Arab slave traders took people from Southeast Africa, most Tanzania, Mozambique, and sold them to Arabs and Somalis. The Bantu community in southern Somalia are a product of this trade. You understand? After the Civil War, some Somali Bantu returned to Tanzania. Although it did exist, slavery in Somalia was not widespread nor popular, only consisted of non-Somalis brought to the country of Omani traders. See in Slovakia. Against country Ethiopia. Slovakia. All right, so this unlike Somalia, which is largely a homogeneous country, Ethiopia is a diverse country with over 80 ethnic groups. You know what I mean? And some of those were, you know what I mean, our people as well, right? Different ethnic group historically held different social status. Abisha were ruling class in Ethiopia. So that is Selassie family them. They are the Abisha. Them are the ruling class. Then they are also operating the slave trade in Ethiopia. Then slavery was widespread in Ethiopia and there were different forms of slavery. You know what I mean? And like we bring out, we were also sold to the Arabs, you know what I mean, to the white man and by the Africans there. See? The slave trades predominantly consist of the Jews. They were selling the Jews, the outsiders, people who did not come from Africa, who settled in Africa. You understand? All right, we have more article. You know what I mean? All right, we have a video as well. We have a YouTube video. And this basically I will show you know what I mean, invasion of Ethiopia by Mussolini. See? And I try to make you pray on TikTok. So I also turn around the camera. You know what I mean? I'm going to see what I go on. You know, meanwhile, just remember to tap up the screen. You know what I mean? All right, so watch this.
To a time when the emperor first became a symbol of his country and of all Africa. Only a veteran can now remember when the last and most brutal chapter of the European scramble for Africa began. 1935, Italy claimed Ethiopia and Mussolini's troops invaded.
Arriverà al benessere, alla potenza e alla gloria. Black men the bugle call, come all the drums are beating and the bugle call, come all, don't mind what Mussolini say, let us march in battle array, and take a gun in our hand and defend the Ethiopian war, declare.
At the League of Nations in Geneva, the emperor went to plead Ethiopia's just cause. The League, fearful of a shadow which would turn into the Second World War, did nothing. Shamefully, the great powers left Ethiopia to Mussolini and the emperor to lonely exile in England.
His Majesty Negus Haile Selassie, I call upon the first delegate of Ethiopia.
Nowhere, I think, was the emperor's tragedy felt more deeply than among the black people of the West, the slave descendants in North America and the Caribbean. Black consciousness had dawned in Jazz Age Harlem, and Africa fermented in the exiles' hearts. Many supported a black activist called Marcus Garvey, and when he demanded Africa for the Africans and repatriation to the homeland, they saw Ethiopia as a special symbol of the whole continent. Until now, it alone had not been seized by white Europeans. Such people volunteered to fight for Haile Selassie, although only a handful managed to go, or they organized to send relief.
Black Americans rallied towards the cause, and black Jamaicans likewise. And so the organization was formed in New York, 105th to 1 Lennox Avenue, New York, and as Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated. Those people gave up monies, medicine, clothes, and what have you, and sent into Haile Selassie.
A branch of the Ethiopian World Federation soon opened in Jamaica, where Garvey came from. But in this neglected corner of the British Empire, black frustration had a new twist. A few ex-followers of Garvey had begun to mix Haile Selassie, symbol of Africa, with biblical notions of a Messiah. By abbreviating Jehovah or Yahweh to Jah and adding this to the emperor's earlier name, Rastafari, they created the invocation Jah Rastafari, a black Messiah for their redemption. It would be years before any followers of the Rastafarian faith reached Ethiopia. The emperor knew nothing about them, as he himself returned, with British military help, to reclaim his throne.
Look what Mussolini is trying to do. Take a bigger mouthful than any man can do. The drums are beating and the bugle call, but we cannot let the Lion of Judah fall. So let us take a gun in our hand and defend the Ethiopian war. Declare.
I don't know if you could hear the audio so perfectly well. All right, so basically that was just, you know what I mean, a brief documentary on what took place with, you know what I mean, when Selassie got invaded, when Ethiopia got invaded. You understand? To this day, Rastafarians want to live a lie that, you know what I mean, Selassie by himself defeated him enemy, Mussolini, right? All right, another thing that this brought out was that we here in the Caribbean and in our people in the Caribbean, in North America, we empathize with Selassie. You know what I mean? And we offered ourselves to fight and defend Ethiopia. See? You know what I mean? Out of ignorance, of course. You know what I mean? By that time now, Marcus Garvey movement was very strong. And Marcus Garvey put a sense of black empowerment back into the hearts of the people, black people, the descendants of the slaves. So when we hear that a so-called black king over there in Africa, Zane, was being invaded, we felt a sense of, you know what I mean, like we get attacked. So we offered ourselves to defend, to go over there and fight on Selassie behalf. You understand? But we'll show you what happened. See? Selassie basically, you know what I mean, decided that he would rather put himself in the hands of Britain. You understand? And that is the thing. So watch this. I'm going to put this on the screen. So it's an exile in Bath. So Haile Selassie went into exile from 1936 to 1941 when Ethiopia, that are 5 years, you know, when Ethiopia was invaded and occupied by Italy. The first 4 years he stayed in Bath, England, after being given political asylum by the British. You know what I mean? So the Rastafarian God, Haile Selassie, you know what I mean? He fled. You understand? However, they would not have him stay in London as it would have been politically embarrassing. Haile Selassie left Ethiopia on May the 1st, 1936. See, days before the Italian took Addis Ababa, he took a train to Djibouti and then board a British ship. He stopped in Jerusalem for a few days before continuing to Europe. He spoke before the League of Nations in June, but by then it was obvious the League had failed at its job and there would be no opposition to Italy taking over Ethiopia. The emperor then proceeded to Bath, England. Then, upon arriving in Bath, he stayed in an hotel. Shortly afterwards, he brought Fairfield House, and its way there he spent a remainder of his time. He was accompanied by his wife, his children, grandchildren, servants, and other in Bath. In Bath, the emperor had to adjust to a new form of life. He was accustomed to an army of servants and lived in a palace. In Bath, he was living in a single house and he was financially restricted. He was forced to pawn off jewelry, meaning he was poor. You know what I mean? So he have to pawn off some jewelry to make some money. You understand? On a couple of occasions, in addition to providing for those who stayed with him in Bath, he was also supporting others in Jerusalem for his children who traveled for school. Bath was cold and the Empress was not able to cope with the change, you know what I mean, and left for Jerusalem. The emperor was able to do little for the country while in exile. In 1938, he traveled once again to Geneva to plead with the League of Nations. The League of Nations is now the UN, the United Nations. See? Not to have Ethiopia officially recognized as part of Italy. So, same like how Vladimir Putin annexed Crimea and other parts of Ukraine, you know what I mean, and now call it Russia. And when name Zelensky now was, you know what I mean, trying to convince Europe and the UN to not call it Russia, but make it remain as Ukraine. That is what, you know what I mean, Selassie did. All right, so basically, Selassie is 1930 version of Zelensky. See? Just imagine if black people in Jamaica made Vladimir Zelensky into a god. Just think about that for a second. Him got invaded, then did have to run to Britain and the UN for help against him enemy. And by doing that, you call him a god. That is the premise by which Rastafari community is built upon. You worshiping the man who was the weaker one as God. That is Rastafariism, you know. See? All right, we have another article. We have more articles, as I say. See? All right. So this one is, all right. One second. All right, so this I will talk about Selassie death now, see? Because to this day, you know, all right, especially up above oil, you know what I mean, they don't believe that Selassie is dead. See? And this is common knowledge that Selassie dead, brethren, dead. You understand? I will bring out them things so that people be educated about the Rastafari community. Because for the most part, I just hear say our people are work off and blind faith like Christianity. You understand? So it say by 1974, the Derg had amassed great amount of power in Ethiopia. Besides the Derg, Ethiopia had just suffered through a major drought. You understand? Which other articles tell you that during this drought, Zayn Selassie was keeping lavish parties. You understand? Lavish parties. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, his people were in famine. You understand? So this drought was causing a great famine in Ethiopia. Students, teachers, and other members of the civilian were discontent with the underdevelopment and economic stagnation of Ethiopia. You know what I mean? And were constantly protesting. All right, let me scroll down. Imprisonment of the emperor from September 12, 1974 to August 26, 1975, which was just under a year. For most of the imprisonment, he went held in the old palace of Emperor Menelik. Hold on, left out something. Slack here, 1 second. I'm not left out nothing. See? All right. He was forbidden communication with the outside world, but he was permitted to read the newspaper, watch TV, or listen to the radio. So them basically imprison Selassie. See? Them lock him up in jail. Them do a coup, take over Ethiopia, and imprison Selassie. He was also allowed to have servants while in jail. See? He was often interrogated by the Derg and suspicion that he had money hidden in European banks. So them accuse him of being, you know what I mean, of stashing away money in European bank because they were wondering what going on with the money where Ethiopia supposed to have all of the wealth. I mean, all of the slave trading and all of them things, where them money there. You understand? Let me continue reading. In November 1974, his money and properties were seized by the Derg. So them finally get a hand on some of my money and thing. By the summer of 1975, the Derg had decided that emperor had to die. You understand? I want to listen, you know, because the Rastafari community don't think that Haile Selassie was killed by his own people. Haile Selassie was killed by an uprising in country. You know what I mean? They imprisoned him. You know what I mean? And they make a judgment that he must die. Let me continue reading. After the fall of the Derg, it was determined that the emperor was suffocated to death on the night of August 26 or the early morning of 27. It was also revealed that Menjitsu El Miriam was present during the execution. His body was buried in the same compound he was being held in. So his body was buried in the jailhouse. In 1992, the body was dug up. So I want to listen, you know, because the Rastafari community basically believe that them never finds Haile Selassie body. Nobody could find him body, and one bag of foolishness, brethren. This I tell you, say, yo, in 1992, the body was dug up. In 2000, Haile Selassie was given a proper burial. Selassie dead, brethren, and I'm own people, them kill him. You understand? So we just assure you, Selassie was an emperor in Ethiopia, got invaded, then had to flee to Britain, to England, in exile. England come back and fight them, battle for them. Support them with troops, then them overthrow, you know what I mean, Mussolini. Then, well, them defeat Mussolini. After that now, him become an oppressor to him people, squander them money. You understand? While a drought and a famine was there, he was living lavishly. Them uprise, overthrow him government, do a coup, and kill him. And this is the man that the Rastafari community call God. You understand? So, we have to bring out them things to demystify Haile Selassie. Because we over here in the West, deprived of knowledge, we mystify Selassie as some great being. And I mean, we have conversation with Rastafarians that say, him are the only man that cut an orange in a 13 piece. So him a God. You know what I mean? Those stupid things that we, you know what I mean? This is how easy we are to please. So when we bring out them things that we are demystify Selassie and I show you, say, look, the man wasn't even a man. How we can put this? He was not only not a God, he wasn't even an upstanding man. Selassie wasn't even a strong man, brethren. You understand? And Marcus Garvey thought he was a weak man. I'm going to get to that real short. Real short. Marcus Garvey never rate Selassie. And we know that Marcus Garvey, all right, Marcus Garvey never have the truth, you know. We here in the I.S.U.P.K and the Commanding General YAHANNA, we have the truth. Commanding General YAHANNA is the prophet of the Most High. See? Marcus Garvey never have the truth. But one thing we know about Marcus Garvey, him champion the cause of black people, and he was a strong man. That's the way we know that Marcus Garvey was a strong man. You understand? Of course, we don't think Marcus Garvey is a prophet. See? But the Rastafari community think Marcus Garvey is a prophet. Right? All right. So, we're going to move on to Marcus Garvey now. See? 1 second. I want you to listen to this. See? So this said, Marcus Garvey and Haile Selassie were not enemies, nor were they friends. See? When Rastafari people them there, no come in, man. With the Rastafari and them, no need for depend on live, you know. See? Share the live to your Rastafari, brethren. See? And why we have to do this? We have to do this so that these strongholds that have a people brain can be destroyed so that our people can turn back to them power. You understand? So we can come out of this captivity that we are in. We are in captivity. The Rastafari community have been reigning here in Jamaica for so long. And life has become worse. What is the benefit of the Rastafari community? To just sing songs? To give us nice melodies and nice musics? Eh? What is the benefit of the Rastafari community? We still in the garrison and suffer and murder each other. Just like the Christian church, the Rastafari movement is a poison to our people. So we have to demystify it so our people can think clearly and say, oh, I saw Selassie did stay. We never know. You wouldn't know because the Rastafari community now go tell you. Same like how the Christian church tell you lies for justify them Christianity. The Rastafari community tell you lies for mystify Selassie. You understand? So this is what this article says. Marcus Garvey and Haile Selassie were not enemies, nor were they friends. So the same man with them claim say prophesy about Selassie was not even him friend. Never like him. See? Garvey was initially a very strong supporter of Selassie. So initially, in the beginning, him support Selassie. See, but that no means him the so-called, which is not a prophecy, you know. It don't mean that is him did that talk about. See? And this I go tell you why he was a supporter. So it say Marcus Garvey initially a very strong supporter of Selassie as hostilities between Italy and Ethiopia troops began at Walwal in December 1934, and events began to unfold leading into the Italo-Ethiopian War. So this was the reason why Marcus Garvey started support Selassie. Because I say, oh, Mussolini if he just invade another so-called African, because we know that Marcus Garvey think we are Africans. And the reason why we say him don't have the truth. See? But Marcus Garvey, because him think him and Haile Selassie are the same people, he must say, Mussolini bright. Or if he invade another black man. So he must support Selassie. Let me continue reading. Garvey moved from Jamaica to London as Mussolini was increasing his belligerence against Selassie rule. The UNIA leader often spoke supportive about Selassie and described the Italian invasion of Ethiopia from Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park in London. Saying, defending the black nation, sovereignty, rights, denounce Mussolini aggression. So, Marcus Garvey became an activist on behalf of Selassie because him see another so-called, him think another black man was being oppressed by a white man. Then, let me continue reading. He used the page of his Black Man magazine to discuss the Italo-Ethiopian situation, but after Italian troops invaded Ethiopia in October of 1935 and Selassie was forced into exile in May, Garvey became increasingly critical of the Ethiopian leader. So after Selassie go to Britain now, Marcus Garvey said, but wait, what kind of style that? Or you have to go to the oppressor? Why you run from one white man to a next white man for save you? Marcus Garvey said, and I'm going to tell you the reason why this offended Marcus Garvey. Let me continue reading. Then, when Selassie arrived in London on his way to attempt further negotiation for help, which would not be forthcoming. So, he went to London to get help and then turn him down the first time. Then, from the League of Nations, he spurred Garvey along with other black Slackia. He spurned Garvey along with other black activists then living in Britain. Garvey felt this rejection keenly. So it says spurn Garvey meaning Garvey and the UNIA was offering to assist. Black people did a sign up to come fight for Selassie. Here in Jamaica and in North America, because of Marcus Garvey. See? And him spurn it, him reject it. Him reject the offer. And guess what? Let me tell you something about Israel. We here in North America and Jamaica, we are the best warriors on the face of the earth. The Israelites. Proof, case and point, we dominate every arena. Kickboxing, boxing, everything. We dominate the oppressors, military. We are the best fighter. Then we are the best fighter. Selassie never want our help. Then, and this offended Marcus Garvey. Then, instead, Selassie rather the help of the white man. Selassie rather take help from Britain. Mussolini, brothers and sisters. See, and reject the children of Israel offer to support him. Let me continue reading. See, Garvey felt this rejection keenly. See, and at the same time, he was attracted to the power dynamic at work in the rising of fascism and Mussolini and Hitler. While African American in the United States, including Garveyites led by the the UNIA, New York official A.L. King in Harlem, rallied to the Ethiopian cause. Then Garvey began to blast Selassie for his weakness. So, what kind of religion is Rastafariism when the prophet turned against the God? Marcus Garvey being the prophet, accusing God, saying God weak, because God turned to the white man. All right, so when I basically I try to show you that, Bridging, don't waste your time with Rastafariism, see? Don't even bother. You know what I mean? You're basically put a tag by yourself as, you know what I mean, being ignorant if you are a Rasta. And majority of people who become Rasta, then become Rasta ignorantly. Not knowing the real history behind it, but just follow the doctrine. That's why we pride ourselves in the I.S.U.P.K. in teaching. That's why we name the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under commanding General YAHANNA. We teach the Bible, we teach history. So when we say we are the Israelite, I know make it up. We do the research. See? Marcus Garvey, with the Rastafari community, claim, prophesy about Selassie, call Selassie weak. So, oh, your prophet I go against your God. You see what I tell you now? That's why we implore you. You just come over here now, because when you think the Rastafari community is, are really the I.S.U.P.K. stay so. When you think the Rastafari community is for black liberation, no, at the I.S.U.P.K. If it wasn't for the I.S.U.P.K., you wouldn't know that you are an Israelite. You think the Rastafari community is militant. No, it's the I.S.U.P.K. that is militant. You think the Rastafari community, you know what I mean, will champion your cause against the oppressor? They have not. As a matter of fact, their king or their God went to the oppressor for help. And the oppressor did help him out of his situation. The I.S.U.P.K. and a commanding general YAHANNA will never seek no help from no oppressor, yet alone any Eden. You understand? Never. What you think the Rastafari community is, are really the ISUPK stay so. See? And now you might understand why we come out against Rastafariism. Because we realize you put a trust in some weak leaders. And we now gonna make it just go so. We now gonna make us sell on yourself short, following the Rastafari community, knowing that all them will do is just turn your children into drug addicts and make us worship a man that couldn't even protect himself and him people, who fled, left him people in the you know what I mean, a terrible condition for him own security. And then when him come back with the help of the oppressor, him oppress him own people. You understand? All right, so somebody asks, what is the ISUPK? So the ISUPK is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. You understand? We teach that black people are the real Israelites. Zin, we teach that our people, by the commandment of the Most High, cannot be a Rastafarian. That is idolatry. We cannot be Christian. That is idolatry. According to the Bible, we should have no other God. The Bible is our history book. Different books in the Bible record different times in our history. It has nothing to do with religion. It was stolen by the white man, same way how we were stolen and brought over here. You understand? So, watch your classes, brother. Delvin, Hutchinson, big up yourself. Zane, yeah, man, watch our classes, YouTube, Facebook. We're there upon TikTok as well. You know what I mean? TikTok is known for, you know what I mean, people just having fun, but we have to take advantage of the eyes them with upon TikTok, because guess what go on? You know what I mean? Everybody don't want this truth come out. YouTube, Facebook. So we utilize TikTok. We are not TikTokers. We just utilize TikTok to get the message across, because TikTok have a great audience. Should they? Them already do. They already do, man. Yo, hey, Christians come up against us. The Rastafari community come up against us. You know what I mean? Muslims, you understand? But one thing they can never do, they can never defeat the I.S.U.P.K. None of them. You know what I mean? We are not, you know what I mean? We just get started in Jamaica. See? I just, you know what I mean? We don't have much soldiers yet in Jamaica. Reason being because Rasta and Christian have the minds of our people. But one thing, if you know the reputation of the I.S.U.P.K. in North America and worldwide, we are undefeated. Zane, why are we undefeated? Because we come out with the truth. Zane, we come out with the truth and nobody can refute the truth. The best them can do is just hate us because we bring out the truth. You know what I mean? Because we bring out the truth, brother. You see, we bring out the truth and expose the lies, you can come up against the I.S.U.P.K. That's why we call ourselves the home of the truth. That is actually what matter. The home of the truth. No belief, man. That's what I said, just watch your class them. You know what I mean? In some senses, we all have to believe something. Because if you even take history into consideration, you weren't there, so you have to believe enough of the records of history because you weren't there. You never see with your eyes, so you can't say you know. See? You have to believe some things, but come on, man, the information have to add up. You understand? You have to do proper research and find out what really go on. It have to add up. And the Rastafari community, them base off a, you know what I mean, a weak foundation. You understand? All right, but let me continue reading. See? Let me just continue read this, finish read this. While African American in the United States, including Garveyites, led by the UNIA, which is, we know that the UNIA was founded by Marcus Garvey. New York official A.L. King in Harlem rallied to the Ethiopian cause. Garvey began to blast Haile Selassie for his weakness. You understand? In his Black Man editorial, criticizing him for his lack of identification with blacks, for turning to white officials, saying who would fail him, saying for help, and at the same time praise Mussolini for his forcefulness and his manhood. You understand? So, you know what I mean? Marcus Garvey offered to help Selassie him turn it down and turn to the white man to help. That is Selassie. That is Selassie. And that is the spirit, you know what I mean, behind Rastafariism. It's weak. It's weak. It's really cowardness. You know what I mean? We have a motto in the I.S.U.P.K again, because we have several mottos. I.S.U.P.K, no cowards. We no coward, boy, Bridging. See? We not afraid of the oppressor. We fight the oppressor without the help of the oppressor. You understand? That's why we implore you to come out of them religion, Bridging. Come to the I.S.U.P.K and the commanding general, Anna. Make we show you what really are going. We'll put strength and bravery in our. You understand? Slakia. Oh, all right. All right. Yeah, well, we're not going to touch back on that topic here again, but I'm going to answer your question. Brother, whether the earth flat or round is of no significance to us. Our problem is our people are hooked on drugs. Our people are murdering each other. You understand? Our people have no brotherhood. Our people are being ruled and oppressed by other nations. We don't give a damn whether or not the earth flat or round. You understand? We have bigger problems than that. So far as we see the earth, I do it job. Whether it flat or round, the earth I do it job. We don't care whether it flat or round right now. When we get rulership of the earth, then we start thinking about the flatness or the roundness of the earth. You understand? Let's get our children off of drugs. Let's get our people, you know what I mean, to come back to, you know what I mean, a righteous state of living again. May we do that. May we fix the people first. You understand? Make the oppressor worry about flat earth and round earth. Him have telescope, him have satellites in a space. Make him worry about that. We are worried about fixing our people. You understand? Yeah, man. 1K. Big up yourself. See? Come to our classes. Watch your classes. We have a number in the description. Not the description, but in the bio of this page. Call that number. Join the classes. See? Yeah, man. All right. So yeah, man. I left the best for last. You understand? So basically, well, it's not the last one. I have another article. So basically, Marcus Garvey never read Selassie. See? Marcus Garvey thought Selassie was weak. And one thing we pride ourselves here in the I.S.U.P.K as is being strong. You understand? We don't encourage weakness. You understand? Like the Christian church. You know what I mean? We don't praise weakness. We want strength. We want our people to be strong. We want our brothers to be strong. Let our women be, you know what I mean, feminine and weak. Because it is our job as men to protect our women. But our brothers, we have to be strong. We don't worship weakness. We don't condone weakness in our brothers. You understand? And our sisters can be strong, but not strong like our man strong, not physical strong. You understand? Being submissive to your husband, that is strength. Not being brainwashed by society that you don't need a man, that is strength. Being independent and don't need a man, that is not strength. Talking to our sisters, that is weakness, that is you being, you know what I mean, that is you falling into peer pressure, that is weakness. You know what I mean? Being a woman, playing a woman's role as a woman, as a black woman, that is strength. As a black man, your position is to lead and be strong physically, mentally, and to lead your family and lead your woman. We don't praise weakness in the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? Yeah, man. All right, so we have another article. You know what I mean? And this is the closing of the articles, and then we are getting to some scriptures. See? So this article I say, a brief history on Rastafariism. So this is just like a breakdown what is Rastafarianism, how it start. You know what I mean? It not really have a great history. It's just a misunderstanding. You get to me, I say? Yeah. So it's a Rastafarianism is a small but distinctive religious group based in Jamaica. Yet, despite its modest size, it has achieved significant global consciousness, principally through the cultural symbolism and music. Right. So we know that the music is what propel Rastafarianism. Reggae music. Reggae music got hijacked by Rastafarianism. Then artists eventually converted to Rastafarianism after them get popularity. And we see that every day in Jamaica. See? Bob Marley, which is a heathen, by the way, a white man. See? Him a do reggae music before him go Rasta. Peter Tosh, all of them. You understand? So in essence, Rastafarianism hijack reggae. Reggae music exists before the artists them become Rasta. So now, because it get hijacked by Rastafarianism, the Rastafari message gone out in the world using our music as the children of Israel, as the Benjamites here in Jamaica. It got hijacked. You understand? Let me continue reading. Read on as culture trip chart the fascinating history of this cultural significant religious movement. So let me say cultural significant. You understand? All right. Beginning, one of Jamaica's national hero, Marcus Garvey, created the Back to Africa movement and is regarded as the first person of color to create a mass movement to promote the destiny of the people of Africa. You know what I mean? So we came from Africa, so them automatically called Africans. Like we explain time and time again, we are not the native Africans. We are the Jews, we are the Israelites. During the 1920s, Garvey made frequent reference to the future crowning of a king. He never said Selassie, you know. A king in Africa. You understand? Well, them say Africa, but we know that Marcus Garvey was just reciting what he knew the Bible to say, but him just ascribe it to Africa. See? Garvey's idea gained a lot of traction among the poor communities in Jamaica and among black movement in the US and UK. The crowning of Rastafari Makanen as ruler of Ethiopia in 1930 was interpreted by some as the fulfillment of the prophecy. Again, this was not a prophecy because Marcus Garvey was not a prophet. So, but the Rastafari movement automatically ascribed it to Selassie because Selassie got coronated, you know what I mean, round about that time. It's a misunderstanding. See, now we're going to show you where the misunderstanding came from. See, Makanen rule as Haile Selassie took other title, see, such as the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. Right, so we're going to break down that and show you who is really the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. We're going to show you that. All of them things come from out of the Bible, you know. See? But it was not talking about Selassie. Had this been talking about Selassie, we would not be in captivity today. Because when the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah, which the Bible prophesy about, come, the oppressor will fall. But we know that Selassie fled to the oppressor for help from the oppressor. You understand? Let me continue reading. Then Makanen rule as Haile Selassie took other titles, such as the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. Meanwhile, in Jamaica, the movement that had interpreted Garvey's word as prophecy and Haile Selassie growing as fulfillment imbued these events with religious significance, and so they named their movement after Selassie birth name, Rastafari. Because enough never know say, I saw him name, you know. Him name Rastafari. All right, let me segue a little bit. See? And this is why we say Mutabaruka is so disingenuous. Because him don't worship Selassie like other Rasta, you know, but him still call himself Rasta. It's a contradiction because Rasta is Selassie name. Rastafari is him literal name. You understand? So be careful of them leaders here in Jamaica. You understand? Be careful of them because you're going to find out, say, them know more than what them I tell you. But them use, you know what I mean? Them use talking points to get your attention. But them know more than what them I tell you. Them know, say, if them tell you the truth, them movement are going to cut short. So them just tell you the lie. You know what I mean? And we don't have to blame on yourself too. No love hear lie. And that is the reason why enough of our people don't like the I.S.U.P.K, because we not tell no lie, we tell the plain truth. That's why we call ourselves the home of the truth. So people reject we and them rather go to Rastafariism and Christianity because them love the lie. You know, like a girl where you tell her the truth, she take it offensive. But you know what I mean? If you is a man we don't care about her, you just tell her the lie to sleep with her, and you know what I mean? Because she rather the lie. That is the people them in Jamaica who rather the lie. But the man we are telling you the lie don't care about you know. You understand? And we listen to Mutabaruka and we see say Mutabaruka is a system man. He love the system. He's a system man because, you know what I mean, me hear him talk about who Christian church need for pay tax. We burn the Christian church, you know. But who the tax money are going to go to? Not the government. So you're a system man. You blame the youth them for the problem where you see in the garrison. And you not blame Babylon for say you introduce the youth them to crime and violence. You're a system man. You blame the poor. You blame the descendants of the slaves. You're one system man. You understand? That is what him is. So I want to be careful on the leaders them want to put over on our own and listen to and I make them tell on how for govern on life. You know what I mean? Let me continue reading. So it's an evolution. Early Rastafarianism centered around black power and disposing white rule. But we know say Rasta is not all about that today, you know. Rasta is not all about black power nowadays, you know. You know that, right? Rasta love everybody nowadays. Rasta talk about love, 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 love everybody. That is what Rastafariism is today. Love everybody, love the white man. We all should come together as one. That is Rastafariism today. But initially, it centered around black power and disposing white rule. But quickly involved also, Slakia Alan, peaceful lines. No Rasta no revolutionary anymore. And we now say go there and be violent towards nobody. And that we are saying no. But Rasta lose its radical nature because it built upon a weak foundation and the God of Rastafariism is really weak. You understand like what Marcus Garvey said? See? So it said, making specific reference, Slakia, let me read again. Peaceful lines, making specific reference to biblical texts and the principle of equality in the eyes of God. The Bible don't speak nothing about equality. So that is a lie. So you have the Christian church that talk about God love everybody. That don't in the Bible. God love the children of Israel. Because that book, named the Bible, is written by the children of Israel for the children of Israel. See? No Rastafariism come and do the same thing, but equality. No equality. You can't get, brethren, if you are aiming for equality, you're going to get, you know what I mean, treading underfoot. Or you for one, or you for in a race and want to tie with your opponent. If you run a race, if Usain Bolt and Tyson Gear are run a race, and Usain Bolt say, yo, you know, some I don't want to be Tyson Gear. I want the two we come first. What will happen? Tyson Gear go win. Because Tyson Gear want to win the race. So you are asked equality mean that you are going to come second class citizen. You must always try to be the greatest nation upon the face of the earth. You understand? Oh, the Bible says, so Mrs. Abraham, good question that Mrs. Abraham. All right, so Mrs. Abraham asks, what did the Bible say about pork? Zin, the Bible said the pork, you know what I mean, is unclean unto the children of Israel. We who were brought over here in slavery, we are the children of Israel. So it's not even a religious thing. We nothing on pork. Zin? Yeah, man. All right, let me continue reading though. Garvey words inspired a number of movements, of which Rastafarianism is just one. And that is true. Garvey responsible for the Pan-African movement and many other so-called movements. See? Yeah, man. Garvey, because we know say Garvey was, you know what I mean, the first pro-black leader to come about after slavery. You understand? Are the greatest. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So when Garvey movement was no more, you had many other movements that branch off, and Rastafarianism is one of them. But Garvey never liked Rastafari. Garvey think Rastafari was a weak man, and we read it earlier. See? So if you just come in, go on YouTube when the class done and watch back the video and see what we brought out. Marcus Garvey called Haile Selassie weak, never like him. See? But Rasta base them believe in Haile Selassie after the so-called Marcus Garvey prophecy. But Marcus Garvey never believed in a Rastafari and Haile Selassie. You see? All right. Similarly, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, Slakia, let me read that properly. The Ethiopian Orthodox Christian Selassie, and that we bring out. Selassie is an Ethiopian Orthodox Christian. All right, so teacher boss, good question. No, we are not Muslim. All right, and that are the things in. I will understand is an honest question. That is an honest question. Here in Jamaica, for the most part, our people are not familiar with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. So we are not Muslim here, brother. We are the Israelites. We teach that black people, they are the Israelites. Muslim is the Arabs' religion. If you worship any religion of any other nation, you become a second-class citizen to that nation or a subject to that nation. So if you are a Christian, you are a subject to the white man because you are worshiping the white man God. If you are a Muslim, you are a subject to, you know what I mean, the Muslim or the, you know, the Arabs, because Muslim is the white man, the Arabs' religion. See, if you are a Buddhist, you become a subject to the Chinese. We in the I.S.U.P.K, we worship the black man God. You understand? We are first-class citizens in our thing. And it is no religion. I will break it down. You understand? So just watch your class them here. All right. And we explain Farrakhan too. You know what I mean? You just need to just subscribe to I.S.U.P.K because the regular people now can't see through the lies. We need the I.S.U.P.K for see through the lies from food behalf because you have good speakers out there, you know. You know what I mean? Even me, you know, if I stutter up on my word, you know what I mean, little bit, you know, people run gone, you know. Because our people are attracted to good speakers. But guess what I go on? Good speakers make the best liars. You understand? So we need to be careful of these good speakers. You understand? Be careful of them. You understand? Watch your classes, man. Subscribe to I.S.U.P.K. You understand? All right, good question. So Real Jazz Vibes asks, so where You know what I mean? The Israelites sold in slavery apart from Jamaica. All right, Trinidad, Haiti, North America, Central America, South America, Brazil, you know what I mean? All right, so you have one form of slaving of the Israelites. We were taken from West Africa. Many of us were sold to the Arabs. You know what I mean? See? But for the most part, the transatlantic slave trade was we being taken from West Africa over to the New World, see? Which is over here, North, Central, and South America. You understand? However, you have other tribes. So the tribes that were taken from West Africa were Benjamin, Levi, and Judah. You understand? But the other 10 tribes now, because Levi was not a tribe, they were the priests. So if you add Levi, you get 13, but are really 12. See? The other 10 tribes, see, did already over here talking about the Taino Indians, the Arawak. They are our brothers. Them come over here from the Samarian, not the Samarian, Slakia, the Assyrian invasion when they were taken out of them homeland and they fled and them said, boy, them are cut from over there because they felt cut off because they are the first to go off in idolatry and the Most High kick them out of the land. Oh, the Most High kick you out of the land, make another nation come invade you and take you into slavery. See? They know them come over here because no civilization never over here. They are the ones that build pyramids in Mexico. You know what I mean? Where they learned to build these pyramids while we were in slavery in Egypt. See? So them come over here and them populate North, South, and Central America. These are what you call the natives of this land. They are our brothers. They are the other 10 tribes of Israel. You understand? Them going to slavery and we going to slavery. You know what I mean? For the most part, they got genocided. You understand? We have the same bloodline as them. You understand? So good question, Jazz. See? Real jazz vibes. Yeah, man, good question. Yeah, man, and that may I explain to you, Mr. Endurable. May I explain to you, so the real children of Israel are the black and the Hispanic and the native Indian. All right, me have a statement over here on YouTube. And the person say, Rastafari religion, but read from a religious book. All right. Rasta is a religion, you know, but the Bible is not a religious book. You heard? Them just use the Bible for justify them religion. But the Bible is not a religious book. Rovani. See? Yeah, man. All right. Now I finish read that thing and then I go jump into some scriptures. You understand? So it says, similarly, the Ethiopian Orthodox Christian Selassie believed by Rastafarians to be the physical representation of God or Jah was somewhat bemused by the divine status afforded to him. So Selassie himself, he was bemused that the fact that somebody over one part, I call him God. He wasn't amused. Because I'm a Christian. You know what I mean? I'm a Christian. I say, why the hell am I call me God? See? Let me continue reading. Even going so far as actively deny it. Him deny the fact that, yo, people are calling him God. Him say, yo, me are not God. Stop calling me God. See? Furthermore, Garvey himself didn't think highly of Selassie. See, we come back around again. Furthermore, Marcus Garvey did not, you know what I mean, see highly of Selassie. You know what I mean? We just want our people them know this. So we can make a conscious decision as opposed to, you know what I mean, listening to the lies and just accept the lies. And you know what the conscious decision should be when you come to the I.S.U.P.K. Come learn on the real history. You understand? Yeah, man. All right, so we're going to just jump to some scripture, you know. See, for time's sake, because we're up on 2 hours already. You understand? But we'd have some more of the article, but we're going to leave it there. So We're going to jump to some scriptures. All right. I'll jump to some scriptures. I know. Remember to tap up the screen and share around, you know what I mean? Share this to your Rastafari brethren. You know what I mean? This could save him life. You understand? All right. So again, I'm going to read back that scripture here. This is the book of Hosea 4 and 6, and it says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. You know what I mean? And that is the reason why we are destroyed over here, because with the lack of knowledge, we have no knowledge of history. Zin? Right. So teacher boss asks a good question. Do the black God have a name? Excellent question, brother. Zin? Yes, him have a name, and his name Yahweh. Zin? Of course, the white man bastardized the Hebrew and call him Yahweh. When there is no vowels in the Hebrew, his name is Yahweh. It is 4 Hebrew characters, the Yah, the Ha, the Wa, and the Ha. Yahweh. You know what I mean? That is the Most High's name. Not Yahweh. But good question, teacher boss. See? Yeah, man. All right, so my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. You understand? And that is what we suffer from over here. See? Because there was rejected knowledge. How have we rejected knowledge? We have gone off into Rastafariism and Christianity, and now we don't know the truth of the Bible. Like we bring out time and time again, the Christian church only wall up the Bible, but them don't teach it. Them don't teach it. Them pick out some points, you know what I mean, where I go make you emotionally attached and convinced to give out the money to the Christian pastor. But them not teach the meat of the matter of the Bible. See? Yeah, man. Let me continue reading. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. So we over here, we are not priests. We are killing each other. We're far from priests. We are drug addicts over here. We're far from being real righteous priests of the Most High. You understand? Because we reject the knowledge. Let me continue reading. See? Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, and this is very important. The Most High is the one that created the law of gravity. You see? And the law of gravity is never, you know what I mean, irrelevant. See? This same power created laws that he gave to our people in order for us to keep. You know what I mean? And these laws will make we live at peace with our brothers and will allow us to rule this earth. You know what I mean? But we forgot those laws. You know what I mean? Let me continue reading. See? So it says, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. You understand? So him used to protect we, provide for we, make sure say we're victorious when we go at war with the enemies. You know what I mean? But because we forget him laws, because, you know what I mean, we start sleeping with the brothers, them wife. You know what I mean? Because we start murder each other. Because we start commit all sin. Which sin is just breaking the Most High laws. Eh? Now if you get to children, now your children run amok. You know what I mean? Now your children become, you know what I mean, murderers, become murdered to end up in a jailhouse, suffer poverty. The next generation is always worse than the previous one. The Most High forget with children. You understand? Because we forget him laws. But guess what happen? When we start keep his laws again, him going to start remember we and start fight on our behalf. Case in point, Zane, the I.S.U.P.K has started that movement. And now you see the oppressors fighting against each other. You know what I mean? The oppressor is starting to kill each other and threatening each other with nuclear destruction. You understand? Because now the children of Israel, they might come back to the laws of the Most High. The Most High don't want we in no captivity. You know, the Bible says, is Israel a slave? Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? We are not servants, we are not slaves, but because we stray away from our power. him just allow with it, you know what I mean, do what we want, and as doing what we want now, make us fall in the hands of the Edens, the other nation. You understand? All right, so good question again, teacher boss. See, excellent question. So him asks, you know what I mean? So Israel God, is he the God of all black people, or just for Israelites? All right, so the term black people was placed upon us by the oppressor. Just stay with me for a second. See? The oppressor called him slave, them black people. The Africans, them were not calling themselves black people, even though them dark skin. See? But me see what you say. You talk about the dark skin people. Them. All right. Now, Israel is black, is dark skin. But the Africans, they are also dark skin. And like I bring up before, we were the ones called black. The Africans were not called black. No, dark-skinned people, the Most High is not the God of all dark-skinned people. He's the God of the Israelites. You understand? The Africans, they are not our people. We are not the native Africans. The native Africans, with the help of the white man, sold us into slavery because they knew that we are not their people. You understand? Not all dark-skinned people are the same people. Case in point, the Arabs, the original Arabs, they are dark-skinned. Many of them black, like how the Nubians, them black. See? Talk about the literal color now. See? You have the Israelites, which are we, the Jews, black. You understand? The Egyptians today, they are not black, you know, but we know that originally Egyptians were black or dark-skinned people. See? So you can't really, it's not really a color thing. You know what I mean? It's not a color thing. But our bloodline, our people, the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we have a covenant with the Most High. Our bloodline. See? So, you know what I mean? I hope that answers your question properly. See? All right. If your foreparents were brought over here into slavery, you are a Jew. No, man. All right. Israel in a Middle East, man. In a Middle East. Even though that small plot of land that they call Israel today is not the entire Israel. That is not the entire land of Israel. The whole of the Middle East are Israel. Over time, we got kicked out of the land and other nations invade and them divide up the land. That land was the most fertile land on the face of the earth. You know what I mean? With all the resources, even more resource than Africa. To this day, them still a fight for that land. That land is rich with oil, and it wasn't just rich with oil alone. It rich with everything. But over the years, them scraped the land, and the real occupants of that land is now over here in the West Indies, calling themselves Jamaicans, Trinidadians, African Americans, Mexicans, and so on and so forth. But that is the best land. That is the most high land. You understand? That is what them call the center of the earth. You understand? Africa is just next door to that. But we came from that land, not Africa. Oh, we end up in Africa now? The Romans invaded our homeland. See? Them invaded our homeland. We fled into Africa to hide from the Romans. So we were hiding from a white collar people amongst other dark-skinned people like ourselves. Because we are trying to mix up the Roman them. We are trying to get the Roman them for though can't tell the difference. So we run amongst other dark-skinned people, fleeing from white-skinned people, see? Or light-skinned pink people. Because the white man not really white. See? But as we were in Africa now, the Africans them, because we did not speak the same language, for the most part, we facial features don't look like the African them. Me always say, we don't look like Africans. We don't look like Africans, you know. But some might disagree. Saying, with culture, with dress code, with language, everything, it make we stand out. The Africans them know that we are not their people. We were never accepted by the Africans them in Africa. Them, we, you know what I mean? We did a lot of wars with them. We eventually settled at the west coast of Africa. You know what I mean? Eventually, the white man and them conspire and get we out of them land. Millions of us out of them land. See? And we break that down, you know what I mean, in other classes and things. You understand? So just go to I.S.U.P.K Jamaica on YouTube, Facebook, you know what I mean? And just subscribe. Watch some of our previous videos, them where we break that down. See? All right, let me continue reading. Slakia. All right, so we're going to jump to the book of Amos now. You understand? And Rastafarians, this is what them read and them misunderstand what the Bible is really saying. See? So it says, are ye not as the children of the Ethiopian unto me, O children of Israel? So the rest of them see that and say, see, the children of Israel are the Ethiopians. They don't understand what this is about. Let me continue reading. See? Saith the Lord, have not I brought up Israel out of the land of Egypt, and the Philistines from Captor, and the Syrians from Ker? So the Most High say, have I not brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, out of the land of the Philistine, and out of the Syrians? So the Most High I sure we say, yo, look how much time me have to save you. Zane? But he must say, aren't you not like the Ethiopians to me? What is he saying? We are behaving like filthy heathens. So he's not complimenting the Ethiopians. He's disrespecting us because of how we are behaving. You understand? Let me continue reading. Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Lord. So the Most High said, look, you're going to destroy the wicked kingdom. Talking about this Babylon, see? Because now we're in a Babylonian captivity, behaving like Ethiopians, behaving like filthy heathens. So he said, look, I'm going to destroy that place here, but I'm going to save the children of Israel, some of them. Because some of we 2/3 away, now I'm going to make it. This nuclear war we are forward, 2/3 away are going to get destroyed. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, 2/3 of the children of Israel. We pray every day in the I.S.U.P.K that more than 2/3 make it, that more than 1/3 make it. But really and truly, 2/3 of our people are going dead in this. You know what I mean? This nuclear holocaust. We are forward and they're near, right? They're very near. You know what I mean? Sooner than you think. And the Most High stir up the warrior. The Most High get ready for destroy this wicked kingdom. You see? But he must save 1/3 of the children of Israel. See? That is how far off we have gone. That the Most High him now no use for 2/3 of it. You understand? I serious times we live in, you know. And that's why you see the I.S.U.P.K have to go so hard, you know. And we still come out against Christianity and Rastafarianism because we people life depend upon it. You know what I mean? A terrible times we live in. We live in the worst time in history. Worse. There has been no other time as bad as this. It just don't got bad yet. You understand? Yeah, man. The Christian church now tell us them things in the Bible. You know what I mean? All right. So, we're going to jump to now to show you that this scripture was not complimenting the Ethiopians. See? We're going to jump to the book of Zephaniah chapter 2 and 12. And this is what it said. Ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by my sword. So the Most High promised to kill the Ethiopians. Why? Because the Ethiopians, like we bring out earlier in the class, sold us into slavery. You understand? Now I tell you, man, yeah, man, be aware they are Israel right now, man, because the real occupants of that land do in the land. So right now, the land basically cursed. Heathens occupy the land of so-called Israel right now. See? Which is the land where them call Israel right now is just a small part of the real, you know what I mean, the land that we occupied. See? Just a small part of that land. See? Yeah, man. But the Most High will make it boil up till it turn World War. Well, a World War III, we in already, you know. We in a World War III. See? But he's going to make it reach the point of nuclear destruction. See? And then we are going to get to go back in our homeland. You understand? All right. So this is the book of Galatians 4 and 26. And it says, but Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. You know them like to say, yo, Africa is our motherland. Africa is not our motherland. Jerusalem is. You know what I mean? Africa is the motherland for the so-called Africans, them, not we. So everybody we are trying to get you to go back to Africa like the Rastafarian people, them, singing it in songs. You will never find peace in Africa. That is not your homeland. No, man. Let me tell you, them know who them did a ship out, man. That's why we say, come watch your class, them, man. We break it down, man. The Africans, them never sell them own people, you know. No people will ever sell them own people in a slavery. No people. See? And the white man did want strong people to come work in plantation. So if you were selling your own people, you would be selling the strongest of your own people. Then who fight your wars? You understand? You need the strong and the young to fight the wars. Why would you be selling them into slavery? Then who protect your nation? Who become soldiers? The Africans, they were not selling them own people. They did sell the strong and the young of another people. You understand? Yeah, man. Jerusalem in the Middle East. YAHANNA in the Hebrew. See? Middle East. You know what I mean? Not, you know what I mean? What them call Jerusalem today is not real Jerusalem. You understand? As I say, the so-called land of Israel is just a small part of our original land, you see? All right. Let me continue reading. So it says, but Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. You know what I mean? All right. So another thing where the Rastafarian them like to say is that, you know what I mean, the book of Revelation prophesy about the Lion of the tribe of Judah, and them say that is Selassie. You understand? But we are going to show you, say, no man, no such thing. See? So what we are going to do right now, we are going to jump to Revelations, where we talk about, you know what I mean, where we talk about the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the same scripture where them talk about. See? So Revelation 1:1 give the intro, and that is why we not just pick out parts of the Bible, we read the whole Bible. We give the context of the Bible. And Revelation chapter 1 and verse 1 tell you what Revelation is talking about, or who Revelation is talking about. So it said, the revelation of Jesus Christ, or YAHANNA Mashiach in the Hebrew. See? Which God gave unto him to shew unto his servant things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto the servant John, or YAHANNA in the Hebrew. See? So Revelation is talking about Jesus Christ, or YAHANNA Mashiach, which is his real name. The black man, the black king of the Jews. Not Selassie. So it starts off by saying that, and then now, when we jump to the part, we say, Lion of the tribe of Judah. You understand? So this is Revelations 5:1, and we will read. So look here. Revelation 5. And we will start at verse 1, and it says, and I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. And you know them like say, boy, Selassie bust the 7 seal. And they don't even know what the 7 seal is. You understand? So look here. See in verse 2. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seal thereof. Which book? Which book it talk about? For years, the Bible have been a mystery. And nobody understood the Bible. See? Not the Christian church, not the Rastafari group, not the Muslims. Until the I.S.U.P.K and a commanding general, YAHANNA. See? There was no one to understand the Bible. That is the book where it talk about. These records. The Bible talk about itself. You understand? But the book was sealed. Why was it sealed? Because nobody could understand what the Bible was talking about. and it was sealed for a long time. That is why no one since the I.S.U.P.K. or no one before the I.S.U.P.K., you understand, could understand the Bible. See? That is the reason why it says seal. It no mean Selassie come bust no seven seal, and no, it mean it's seal means that nobody can understand what this book really talk about. You understand? That is the seal where they upon the book. We, I.S.U.P.K. and a commanding general under Christ, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, bust the seven seal if you want to put it that way. Zin, can we understand the Bible? Let me continue reading though. Verse 3. And no man in heaven nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look therein. So nobody, this is metaphor, so nobody could understand the book is what it's saying. You understand? Not that they weren't able to open the book literally. Meaning when they open the book, for the most part, them confused. They don't know what the book is talking about. Zin? And for a very good reason, you know what I mean? Because they never understand that this book was talking about the children of Israel. Nobody made it about our suffering and our struggle. The Christian church make it about them religion. You understand? Verse 4. And I wept much because no man was found worthy to open the and to read the book, neither to look therein. Verse 5. And one of the elders say unto me, weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has prevailed to open the book and look, and loose the seven seal. So the rest of them read this and say, yeah, man, I still see that man, the root of David. As I said, Revelation is talking about the man where them call Jesus Christ or Yahweh Shai Mashiach. He is the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Why is he the Lion of the tribe of Judah? The symbol for Judah is the lion. See? That is the symbol for Judah. Judah is a literal tribe within the nation of Israel. Christ came from the tribe of Judah. You understand? I'm going to show you what I want. You understand? So this is Hebrews 7:40, and it says, for it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah. You know what I mean? Who is the Lord talking about? Yahweh Shai Mashiach. He came out of Judah. Judah was a family, a tribe. You know what I mean? That's why he's called the Lion of the tribe of Judah, because he came from a tribe that was not the Ashanti tribe. It was not the Zulu tribe. It was the tribe of Judah, or Yahawada in the Hebrew. See? Of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood. Meaning, once upon a time, Judah was not the priest tribe. Levi was. You understand? But no, we, you know what I mean? Well, Christ are going to be priest and king. Well, initially, it wasn't that Judah should be a priest, but no, Christ, because, you know what I mean? He governed under the what I call it now, the order of Melchizedek, which them also ascribe to Selassie, which is false again, see? Which is priest and king. You understand? But initially, Judah was never the priest. Judah was just the king. Because all the kings come from out of Judah. The tribe of Judah. David was a Judite. Solomon was a Judite. Absalom was one of Solomon, David's son that overthrew him. But you have Rehoboam was a Judite. You understand? And all the kings that sat on the throne of Israel after that was Judites. Notice, they did not sit on the throne of Ethiopia. You know? They sat on the throne of Israel, and they were all Judites. That is where the Rastafari community don't understand, because they don't understand the Bible. They don't understand the Hebrew records. But this is the law. This is what we know as Israelites, that our king come from Judah. Whichever king have to rule over, we have to come from the tribe of Judah. See, and we're going to break that down in another class. See, and show you where it was said that this should be the case. You understand? And it also says in the root of David. Right? Now I'll show you where it says Christ was the root and offspring of David. See, so this is the book of Romans. See, 1 and 3, and it says, concerning his son Jesus Christ, or YAHANNA Mashiach. Again, talking about our king, not Selassie. Our Lord, which was made of the seed of David, according to the flesh. Not talk about Selassie. It talk about YAHANNA Mashiach. Because David was Jesus or YAHANNA great grandfather. But the Rastafari community, them don't know what that mean. When them say the root and offspring of David, them not really, I mean, some might understand that it talk about lineage. But you can't ascribe an Ethiopian to the lineage of an Israelite. A two different nations that. How can an Ethiopian rule upon the throne of Israel? You understand? An Ethiopian can't rule upon our throne. Mussolini, when him invaded Ethiopia, him set up himself as king of Ethiopia. Oh, because him invade and conquer the Ethiopians them. That is the only way the Ethiopians could come and rule upon our throne, if them invade and conquer it. And they did not. You understand? All right, look like the internet are going away, you know. So I'll just hurry up and wrap up the class here. All right. See? All right, but yeah, man, let me jump to another scripture. So it's a lion of the tribe of Judah. See? I'm pretty this. I'm going to break it down simple. We teach the Bible, see? And we make the Bible easy to understand. That's why we implore you, come out of them religion, they come to the I.S.U.P.K. The Bible is not this. Well, it's complex to some, but it's not complex to the I.S.U.P.K. It's an easy book, a black people book, and that is what people feel to understand. That's why it is a puzzle to them. But commanding General YAHANNA, understand the Bible. You know what I mean? The 7 heads, the 7 generals before commanding General YAHANNA, they understood the Bible because of our 4 parents' book. You know what I mean? All right, we'll jump to Revelations. 19. See, and show you the part where them talk about King of Kings and Lord of Lords. See? I'll break that down for you, quick and fast. You know what I mean? All right, so this is Revelation 11 and 16. Revelation 19, 11 to 60. All right. And it said, and I saw under heaven open. Slakia, I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he does judge and make war. So this King of Kings and Lord of Lords, he must come make war. See, he not going to run from nobody and run to no oppressor. If he not help him, now go run to Britain for assistance to defeat him enemy. Him are the one where come make war. See? Why him come make war? Him come make war because him people in a captivity and him come for freedom. Let me continue reading. See? Verse 12, his eyes were as a flame of fire, meaning he was angry. Him now ramp. See? And on his head were many crowns. Why him have many crowns on him head? Because he might come to take the crowns of all the kings of the earth. You understand? He might come take the crown of King Charles, take the crown of Joe Biden, take the crown of Vladimir Putin, take the crown of Xi Jinping, he might take the crown of every ruler upon the face of the earth. He might go rule the earth. See, let me continue reading. And he had a name written that no man knew but himself. What is name? Name is reputation. See? He had a name that no man knew. It not talk about no new name like Janine and them and Ray. Talk about new name and one bag of foolishness, making it out to be some, like it's a musical thing. It's a talk about a real thing. See? mean a new reputation, because when he came first, he came to teach and to die for the sins of the nation. We know him based off of the scripture that he died. The reputation that he had was as, you know what I mean, the Lamb of God, meaning the sacrifice. You understand? Because the Lamb was what you sacrificed for your sin. See, him come and die for the nation. But the new reputation where him come with, the new name, is not as no lamb to no slaughter. Now, Rastafari and them love use that word there. See, lamb to the slaughter, him now come with that reputation there. He might come with a different name or a different reputation. Let me continue reading. See? Verse 13, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. So in vesture, in clothes was dipped in blood. Why? Because he might come to do a lot of killing. This is the new reputation where them are going to know him as. Not as the man that died, but as the man that come to do the killing. Him come to make war. See? Let me continue reading. See? And his name is called the Word of the Most High. Why is his name called the Word of the Most High? His name is called the Word of the Most High because this is the Most High will he's carrying out. This is the Word of the Most High, or the command of the Most High. You know what I mean? And we know that the Bible is the Word of the Most High as well. He's coming to fulfill these prophecies. You understand? Yeah, man. Let me continue reading verse 14. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. So he might come with an army, not with the British army like Selassie. You understand? Let me continue reading. Verse 15, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nation, meaning he's coming to remind them of them crimes. The sharp sword mean in words are going cut. Meaning he might come judge the earth, he might come carry out sentence, he might come tell the white man in crimes and put the white man to death. In words are hard and cut. See, like how our words cut. When we talking at the I.S.U.P.K, our words cut, you know, because we are tell the truth. When we go out in the street and we tell, you know what I mean, our people to repent and, you know what I mean, come back to these laws and tell them to come off of drugs and so forth. The word cut, because we are telling the truth. See, when we tell the white man, say, yo, he's a murderer and the devil that the Bible speak of, you understand, and that him responsible for the destruction of the children of Israel, and tell him how evil him is. Word cut. You understand? Let me continue reading. That is what it means by a two-edged sword come out of his mouth. See? Words them cut. You understand? Let me continue reading. See? And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. Meaning he's not coming to be, you know what I mean? He's not come to spread democracy. He might rule with a rod of iron. You understand? Yeah, man. All right, continue reading. And he treaded the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty God. What it mean by tread the winepress? Oh, you make wine? By treading the winepress. You step on the grapes. And when you step on the grapes splash up on your clothes and it look like blood. He's coming to tread the winepress of the wrath of Almighty God, meaning he's coming to carry out the fury and the anger of the Most High. He's coming to shed blood. You understand? And unfortunately, if our people don't listen, we're going to fall in that. You know what I mean? As well. You know what I mean? That's why we there try to show no what go on. We are do the same thing with the prophets of old did. One, no. Say, yo, a terrible, terrible situation forward. See? Come back to the Most High. You understand? Let me continue reading. Verse 16, and he has on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Why is he called King of Kings and Lord of Lords? If somebody can answer that in the comments, I would be, you know what I mean, impressed. Why would he come back and his name is King of Kings and Lord of Lords? Just 1 minute me I go now. See? Not even I go no 1 minute, me I go no 30 seconds. Because I want to get on, more, you know what I mean? We're gone 2 hours and 34 minutes. See? Why would Yahawashi Mashiach come back and his name is King of Kings and Lord of Lords? All right, so nobody now have the answer. Reason being because he will be the King of Kings and he will be the Lord of Lords, because when you come and overthrow every kingdom, you are the King of Kings and you are the Lord of Lords. Meaning kings will call him King and lords will call him Lord. You know what I mean? And we, the children of Israel, we are going to rule the earth, and we, the 144,000, are we in the I.S.U.P.K, you know? See? All right, so see, all right, so teacher boss say because in the crown, everybody, big up yourself. Good answer. You understand? We, the 144,000, 12,000 from each tribe of the nation of Israel, we will be kings of this earth too. And he will be our king, and we are going to be king over land masses. We are going to rule the earth. We are going to be not the white man, not Xi Jinping. You understand? Not Vladimir Putin. See? We are going to be the kings, and Yahawashi will be King of Kings. He will be our king. You understand? Rasta no understand what King of Kings and Lord of Lords mean. Selassie is not a King of Kings. Selassie is just the king of Ethiopia. Which other king called Selassie king? As a matter of fact, Selassie called Britain the British royal king or queen because they had to save him all times in condition. At that time, Britain was king of kings. Today, America is king of kings. Joe Biden is king of kings right now because America rule other nations. That is what a king of kings is. But when Yahawashi Mashiach forward, he will be King of Kings and Lord of Lords. You see how it's simple? It's not no mysticism in origin. It's not a religion, you know. It's a simple thing, virgin. That's why I want to get rid of them religion here, man. Get it out of the mind. It just have on running in circles. Never get into the conclusion of the matter. You understand? Yeah, man. All right. I'll jump to some more scripture and then we're going to close up. Zin. All right. All right. All right. But just going to read two more scripture. And this now, this are going to address the problem that Rastafariism caused here in Jamaica. I'm going to say Rastafariism has caused our people to become weed heads, drug addicts. You know what I mean? Make it a culture and our people can't get off of weed because of Rastafariism. We use Rastafariism to justify smoking weed. You understand? Talk about it was found on the grave of King Solomon. It make you wise. No, it make you a schizophrenic. Smoking weed will make you into a schizophrenic. And if you have bipolarism, the weed are going to turn you in a madman. And you're going to eat out a garbage pan. Many of them people there, where you sit on the roadside and eat out a garbage pan, them have bipolarism and go smoke weed with it. And them turn outright mad people. You understand? The weed causes schizophrenic. The THC in the weed is not good for your brain. The weed is a herb like any other herb. If you're not drinking it, if you smoke it, you're a drug abuser. The weed don't make for smoke. It make for, you know what I mean? For drink or eat or something like that. You understand? You can imagine Noonie. Noonie would be like something. Let me use another herb. Yeah, Noonie is a herb. It's good for, you know what I mean? Thin the blood and all them things, right? Noonie is a herb. It's a fruit and a herb. You can imagine if somebody starts smoke Noonie. Start dry Noonie and put it in a paper and smoke it. It no make for that. Zin, what is another herb? What is another herb? Fever grass. Then you can imagine if somebody start crush up fever grass and put it in a paper and smoke it. You'd have said them a madman. And as a result, that is what smoking weed causes people to go crazy. Because smoke don't meant to go up in your brain. Smoke though your brain don't make for, you know what I mean, accommodate high level of smokes. Smoke is a byproduct of anything that is being destroyed by fire. It has no use. It's a waste product. If you light a paper on fire, the smoke is the waste product. Same like if you eat food and you pass out, you know what I mean? Doodoo. Smoke is like doodoo. So why you gonna make doodoo go up in your brain? The doodoo where you put out don't have no substance left in it. Your stomach has taken out all of the substance, so it push out the waste. Same thing when the fire light something. The smoke is the waste product. And you inhale that in your brain, that is not good. And the most I tell you, say, yo, that's not good. And a long time we are do them thing. See? And it's in the Bible. Right. So, you know what I mean? DJ Julia for life say, no kind of smoke is good. Are you right? No kind of smoke is good. So why would you smoke weed? Why not boil some weed tea? Because you're a drug addict. You understand? And that is the truth. See? And the Rastafari community has given you an excuse to smoke weed. And that is all the Rastafari community is Jamaica's freeway Rick Ross, who got black people in America and crack. The Rastafari community is the Jamaica version to that. They got Jamaicans hooked on weed. And nobody can deny that. See? That's why we have to get rid of Rastafariism. You understand? Our little youth, as him start go school, him will start smoke weed. And if you smoke weed, you still know why your youth smoke no weed, which means what? Weed is not good. Even if you smoke it. You know it not good. Well, you can blame the Rastafari community for the smoking of weed. You want, and I'm sure you something. People who smoke weed, them don't want to tell you the truth, you know. You know, long them a try stop smoke weed and can't stop. Blame the Rastafari community. Blame the Rastafari community. That's all they have done. They don't do nothing good for you but get your hook on weed. And for the most part, what are Rastafarians? Drug dealers. Them sell weed. Drug dealers. That is what Rastafarians are for the most part. Drug dealers. What is the benefit of Rastafariism? No benefit. Teach your lies and get your hook on weed. You know what I mean? But this is the book of Ezekiel chapter 8 and 17. And this is what it said. Then he said unto me, as thou seeing this, O son of man, is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here? For they have filled the land with violence and have returned to provoke me to anger. And lo, they put the branch to their nose. Remember when I go to school and I used to smoke weed, see? I go downtown, go buy weed, take up a branch of weed and put it on our nose. Yeah, man, that one is a high grade, man. A long time we have do this. Put the branch to our nose and test the grade of the weed. Nothing new under the sun, you know. Nobody feel like this weed smoking thing is this innovation by the Rastafari community. As a matter of fact, them learned the weed smoking from the East Indians. And their religions are thousands of years old. You understand? That is what you do when you put the branch to your nose. The most I did a lick out against this weed smoking from back in our days. You understand? Proverbs 16 and 27. An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is a burning fire. That burning spliff in your lips. It means that you're an ungodly man. There's no righteous weed smoker. So the Rastafari community telling themselves that, yo, we are righteousness and we are fight for righteousness. Well, the Bible call it ungodly. See? And with that, we have to go to the security announcements. You know what I mean? Remember, to tap up the screen, if you're on YouTube, like the video, share it on all social media platforms, just share it around. Leave your comments and your questions. If you have questions, you know what I mean, just leave it in the comment section. See? All right, so I'll head to the security announcements. All right, so these are the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18 and verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you'd like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation. All right, so yesterday was the closing of the Feast of Tabernacle. You understand? So the next holy day is the Feast of Dedication or Akanaka. See? And this is the 25th day of the 9th month by the space of 8 days. So this is Saturday the 17th of December. See? For 8 days. You understand? You can find this in the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 4, 52 to 61. You understand? So don't celebrate Christmas. Celebrate Akanaka. You know what I mean? Tune into the I.S.U.P.K, you know what I mean, on the 17th, you know what I mean, and celebrate Akanaka with us. This is, you know what I mean, one of the, not the high holy days, but one of the holy days, you know what I mean, that the Most High gave to us. Christmas is idolatry. Don't celebrate Christmas. You know what I mean? Don't celebrate Easter. Don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Don't celebrate Halloween. You know what I mean? These are idolatry given to us by our oppressor. You understand? Instead, celebrate Akanaka. This was given to you, but you know what I mean? To your foreparents. This is what they used to celebrate. You understand? All right. Reminding Akiam and Akwatiam to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he needs to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. So if you want to be a trooper, if you want to be a part of the school, the number is in the bio of this page. Call that number. You understand? And you're after, you know what I mean, you start your troopership, you're required to wear all black. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. All right. So we're going to jump to the prayers. You know what I mean? So Sar, which means to stand. Wapanya Aquadam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and then in English. Abanawa, Shabashamayam, Kwadash, Aya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Taba'a, Ratizaka, Aya, Aisha, Maharatiza, Kawa, Aya, Bashamayam, Nathanlanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalaklanawa, Kawabwat nawa. Kasalat nawa. Kawabwatia nawa. Wala'a. Tabaya anawa. Wanasaya wan. Abal. Awashainawa. Mayan. Rai. Kaya. Laka. Amalakwat. Wa'ala. Wahafapara. La'aywalamyam. Amen. In English. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever so be it. Amen. All right, this is the prayer for the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathens that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nation and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the Eden that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushai, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the Edens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that has done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you always, so be it. All right, this is the prayer for the power. In Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Baba Kwasha, Nathan Lanawa, Hakak, Hakak, Larapa'a, Kalmakala, Wakalmarawa, Hakak, Lata'ar, Amatazorayam, Hakak, La'akwayam, Amafiam, Hakak, Irakawa, Atama'ala, Lagarashan, Ba'ashami Awashai, Tuwara Aman. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, so be it. All right, this is the prayer for the blessings to bless Israel. In Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Waraklanawa, Wayasharala, Wa'a, Bayatsapariam, Barak, Rapa'a, Magan, Hagan, Commanding General YAHANNA, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, the young men and the sisters, Ba'asham Yahweh Tawara Aman. In the English, what we said was, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, so be it. All right, Sar, which means to turn. We're going to give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, I.M.A.D.U. Shabbat. I.M.A.D.U. Barak. Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai Barakatham. We're going to give one courtesy salute to his sisters, men of Israel, I.M.A.D.U. Shabbat. I.M.A.D.U. Barak. Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Yadimata. Class dismissed. Remember, to tap up the screen, share it around, you understand? You know what I mean? As I say, if you want to be a part of the UPK, a number is in the bio of this page. Just call that number, you understand? You know, and make your intentions clear. Let it be known that you want to be a trooper in the school, or you want to be a sister, you know what I mean, in the school, you understand? And with that, we're going to close out on TikTok. So shalom to everybody on TikTok. But we're going to play some music, you know what I mean, and close out on YouTube.
Where Eve did to Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like stamps and I can't let no hoe lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Circle up and stay alert. Another cop just stretch the nigga. He a demon, this an exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that open blood, then you know I'm gonna get active with you. From the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spin, I ain't listening. Is effective. Here's what the woman scope that bitch like Jacob style war. We gon' run the summer. It's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. As who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers. Hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that. Bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas. Pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young baby. How you real trigger know them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? What he saying something, I ain't hear. This shit light. It ain't about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that fight first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain. 6 shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand that feeds you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitch about 10%, I don't want to hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody won't be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. A certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, I with that hollow sign, yeah, this the rim accord. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still up on my bread, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get it, boy, lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.